I'm not saying I've become a protein snob, but I do have standards. And if it tastes like gym socks, I'm not drinking it. And I finally figured out how to enjoy protein again, and I'm sharing everything I wish I knew sooner. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tia Fit. If you're new here, I'm Tia, and this channel is about my experience, not perfection, and how I've restarted my weight loss and strength journey again here in my 40s. And protein is one of the biggest game changers. So that's what we're doing today, talking about protein. Quick disclaimer before we jump in, nothing I say in this video is medical advice. I'm just sharing my personal experience and what works for me. Always talk to your own doctor or healthcare provider before starting any supplements, medications, or making any big nutrition changes. And just to be clear, this video is not sponsored by anyone, but if the wellness gods are listening, my inbox is always open. The first time I lost 50 pounds, I started with Lady Boss Protein, her workouts. And I love the brand, the pink, the message, the community. It made me feel powerful and seen, sparkle mail and motivation. The shakes were pretty good too. It tasted like desserts. And they came with a really cool recipe book to make all different kinds of flavored shakes. But over time, I noticed I wasn't using it as much. I still like to use it, especially with baking, but I don't always want a heavy milkshake all the time. And that's just me. So I went looking for something new that didn't make me feel like I was having a milkshake at 7 in the morning. I found Clear Protein. I never even heard of it before. I was like, is this a joke? Is this even real? Is this fake? And if you're anything like me, getting your water goals in is a daily struggle. I could never hit my water goals. I used to be a total Mio addict just to make water tolerable. And seriously, I was the girl carrying around Mio everywhere. And then I found something that actually made my water my new obsession. Clear Protein. It's light, it's fruity, it's surprisingly good for you. And this stuff was a game changer for me. I mix it right into my 20-ounce tumbler and shake it up, and it tastes like Gatorade. And I use it instead of adding Mio to my water, and I get 22 grams of protein in per cup. I also like to change my flavors quite frequently, which is why I noticed I do better with 20-ounce cups than the 40-ounce cups because I found myself not drinking as much in my 40-ounce cups because I got tired of the flavor. And so instead of wasting it, I just switched to 20-ounce tumblers. Yes, it takes more effort to go fill up or change flavors, but for me, that works better. It also feels lighter on my stomach. I can drink it during and after my workouts. So I don't drink regular water during my workouts. I'm always drinking protein water. Hitting your daily protein goals are the most important, but research shows that you can maximize your muscle repair and growth by consuming 20 to 40 grams of protein directly after your workouts. I wanted to share because you can buy it in two places. If you're interested, no pressure. You can get it online directly from SEEQ, and they come in these larger canisters here when somebody recommended this brand because I did try a few others on Amazon, but some of them had some funky after flavors and a lot of it tasted like coconut. And I didn't love the flavors that I had gotten from a couple of other brands. So somebody recommended this brand to me that I work with, and then you can pick it up at Target. So Target comes in the smaller canister, so that is 14.8 ounces. And they also only have certain flavors at Target, which I think are like usually the basic flavors. Seek comes out with like seasonal flavors and limited runs in addition to their standard flavors. The larger canister is 1.54 pounds. So 1.5 pounds versus 14.8 ounces. So you can kind of see what you get from where. We've got a lot of different flavors like strawberry lemonade, mango pineapple, blue raspberry, cherry, or not cherry, it's a fruit punch. They used to have this apple flavor and it was so good. I'm kind of disappointed that they don't make that one anymore because it tasted like Jolly Rancher, Apple Jolly Ranchers. And I tried their peach that they just came out with, and I'm not a fan. I won't be reordering the peach. But I do love their fruit punch. I like their blue raspberry, and their mango pineapple is pretty good. And I'm about to try the lemonade, the strawberry lemonade. It is on its way here. So, again, not sponsored. But that leads into the next question. Okay, so I'm drinking protein, I'm eating protein. How much protein do I really need? This is where it kind of gets confusing, and everyone has an opinion about how much protein women should eat. And there are a few popular methods, so let's break them down quickly. So, the basic rule of thumb is zero point 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. For example, if I weigh 185 pounds times zero point 0.8 is 148 grams of protein should be my daily goal. The second method is based on your lean body mass, 1 gram per pound of lean body mass if you're training regularly. This one is more accurate, but only if you know your body fat percentage. And do not go off your scale. You should be having some kind of scan done for the accuracy if you're going to try to use that method. And the last method is by goal. So we have fat loss would be zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of your goal weight. And then for muscle gain, it's 1 to 1.2 grams per your pound of current weight. I usually aim for around 130 to 150 grams a day since I am weight training, strength training, and on trizepatide. Honestly, when I hit my protein goals, I stay fuller longer, my workouts feel better, and I don't crave junk. Your brain is programmed to keep eating until you've had enough protein. Something else that I feel very strongly and passionate about is not all protein is created equal. Quick backstory. When I started to gain weight about 15 years ago, and I wasn't nearly the weight that I started on this journey, but just starting, I was like, well, I want to nip this thing in the bud. So I signed up for Urban Fitness, a gym that has been long gone in that location. I don't even think there are any in the United States anymore, but maybe I'm wrong, and also got a personal trainer. Now, I told this personal trainer, I do not care what this scale says as long as I fit in my skinny jeans again. I just wanted to like the way I looked in the mirror. I wanted to enjoy going clothing shopping, and I didn't care if the scale went up or down as long as the size was right. And he told me to go get protein. I asked, what kind of protein? He's like, oh, just any whey protein. You'll be fine. And I did every single thing he told me to do. I worked out with him on a regular basis. I did get stronger, except I went the opposite direction and I grew in sizes instead of losing the fat, I was gaining muscle. And I think a huge part of that, when I reflect back on that, was the attitude of, well, any protein, just go get any protein. Because what I want to show you is that you can grab a cheap tub, which at the time I absolutely just grabbed a cheap tub from the grocery store, but you can get it off Amazon. You can go to the grocery store. But a lot of these are loaded with fillers, gums, and added sugar. And that is absolutely fine if you're trying to bulk or maintain calories. But if your goal is fat loss and body recomposition, those extras can sneak up on you. So when you're shopping for protein, you want to look at the label. Your ideal type of protein has between 20 and 25 grams of protein per serving and less than 3 grams of sugar. A very short list of ingredients, which you should be able to recognize most of it. And look for whey isolate, not concentrate or a blend. And it's even a bonus if it comes with a digestive enzyme. Watch out for, like I said, proprietary blends. It's a fancy way of hiding what's really in that protein. And high carbs or sugar content, meldroxin or fructose are examples of those sugar content and high carbs. Too many artificial gums can actually cause you to bloat. A good protein powder should be mostly protein, not a sugar bomb pretending to be healthy. So I wanted to give you some actual examples of this. I'm putting up a label on the screen that is a popular brand because it is cheap. You can get it at Walmart and a couple other places. I'm going to remain quiet on the label. Again, none of this is sponsored. And I just want you to look at the label. If you've got protein on your shelf, go look at your label. And you can see this is 180 calories. It's 30 grams of protein, which sounds pretty good, right? Except for it's 7 grams of carbs and 3 grams of sugar. And it's a blend of concentrate and isolate, which means it is heavier, higher in lactose, and full of fillers like maldroxin and sucralose. And I could totally be saying some of those wrong. I'm doing my best on how to pronounce difficult words that we don't use every day. But SEEQ, on the other hand, let me post that label, and it gives you 22 grams of protein for just 100 calories, 0 sugar, 0 fat. It's pure isolate, which means it is lighter, cleaner, and easier to digest. Even the ingredients tell a story. The short list is easy to read and just whey isolate, natural flavors, stevia, and monk fruit. And the only thing that might catch your eye is something called like polysorbate 80. And it sounds scary, but it's an emulsifier, which helps everything mix smoothly in your drink so it doesn't clump up or foam. It's FDA approved and used in a ton of foods like ice creams and salad dressing, totally safe in small amounts. The other brand that won't be mentioned is fine. Again, if you're on a budget or bulking, it is something. But if your goal is to fit in your skinny pants again, it's going to get harder for you to do it on that brand. And you might even bloat and feel larger than you actually are. SEEQ is an example that is something clean and light built for fat loss goals. And since we're already talking about numbers, let's touch on macros. Macros are your protein, your carbs, and your fats. So macros are just how your calories are divided up. Once you know your daily calorie target, it's way more simple to split it up. So for example, if you're trying to do fat loss, you want to do 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat. And if you're just on maintenance, you're actually going to change that to 30% protein, 40% carbs, and 30% fat. Quick math tip: every micronutrient has a known caloric value per gram. Protein is 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram, and fats are 9 calories per gram. So let's say your daily calories that you're trying to hit is 16,000 calories. Not 16,000, 1,600, 1,600. 40% of protein for that 1,600 calories per day is 640 calories. If you divide that by 4, you should be getting 160 grams of protein. For carbohydrates, 30% is 480 calories. If you divide that by 4, you should be eating 120 grams of carbohydrates. And last, 30% of fat would give you 480 calories is what you should be consuming in fat. Divide that by 9, and that gives you 53 grams of fat. It's just that simple. So in a nutshell, that is how I went from thick shakes to clear protein. And if you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, or just feel better, start by nailing your protein and macros. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know your favorite protein brands down in the comments. Rise, train, and transform together.